Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a pretty controversial bestseller from back in 2009. It's called How to Succeed with Women by Ron Lewis and David Copeland, and it promised guys a complete system for their dating lives.
And this thing launched with some serious fanfare. It had these high-profile endorsements, like this one from a Playboy playmate, positioning it as the go-to guide for any man who was, well, kind of lost in the dating world.
So the big promise here wasn't just a few tips and tricks. No, this was supposed to be a full-on program to change a guy's life with women forever. So what exactly is this system they're talking about? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so the book structures everything as a kind of journey, a 5-step transformation. And that's exactly how we're going to break it down. We'll follow their path, starting with what they call the seducer's problem, all the way to the end game.
All right, first up, the seducer's problem. The whole system kicks off by zeroing in on a very specific issue. You know, the classic nice guy who, for whatever reason, just can't seem to make that leap from friendship to romance.
And to make this super clear, they introduce these two archetypes. On one side, you've got Bob the ineffective. He's the guy who's always ending up in the friend zone. He thinks way too much, acts way too little, and just kind of hopes romance will magically appear. On the other side, that's Bruce the seducer. Bruce gets it. He understands that seduction is a skill, something you have to work at. He takes action. He creates the situations he wants. Really, the entire promise of this book boils down to one thing: turning a Bob into a Bruce.
So how do you start that transformation? Well, according to the book, it doesn't start with what you do, it starts with how you think. It's all about mastering what they call the inner game before you take any action out in the real world.
And the first thing they do is try to tear down what they call the biggest myth. You know the one, the belief that there's some secret manipulative pickup line that's going to solve all your problems. They say that's just snake oil salesmanship. Their position is that this system isn't about becoming a better manipulator. It's about figuring out how to express your natural, authentic, romantic self.
So this new mindset is built on these 4 key habits. The first one, knowing it's his job to pursue. But really, look at habits 2 and 3. This is where the philosophy gets really interesting. It's all about reframing rejection. See, most people get rejected and it feels like a personal failure, right? This system says, nope, you have to see it like a numbers game, like you're a salesperson. Every no is just a necessary step to getting to a yes. It's not a failure, it's just part of the process. That's a huge mental shift. And the last one, being willing to walk away. That gives you this powerful, non-needy posture.
Okay, so once that mindset, the inner game, is supposedly in place, the book moves on to the outside. This is where we get into the external transformation, what they call engineering the outer game. And they start with this really powerful question. They ask the reader to picture the kind of woman they want to be with, and then ask themselves, what kind of man would I have to have a woman like that? The point is, you can't just wish for it. You have to actively build yourself into that person.
And that leads directly to this, a super detailed 13-point makeover. And when I say detailed, I mean detailed. They cover everything from your hair and grooming, right down to nose and ear hair, to your personal habits, to your wardrobe. The clothes have to fit well, they have to be clean, even your accessories like your belt and wallet are considered critical. The whole idea is that your appearance is a statement that you make before you even open your mouth.
And this quote from the book details the key to women's hearts and pants, really sums up their entire philosophy on this. They argue that these little things are what matter. They're what creates that feeling of romance. A guy might not notice his shoes are scuffed, but their argument is that a woman will, and it speaks volumes.
This whole focus on the details doesn't stop with your clothes either. It extends to your personal spaces. Your car, for example, needs to be a rolling seduction chamber. So, clean and romantic. And your home? It has to look like an adult actually lives there. We're talking clean, unpacked, with good lighting. The idea is that your environment is an extension of you.
So, with the mindset and the style supposedly locked in, we get to the actual dating strategy. This is where you put the whole system into action.
And according to the authors, you don't just hang out.
That's not a thing in this system. Instead, they lay out this very methodical two-stage dating process, and each stage is designed to do something very, very specific.
So here are the two types of dates. First, you have the priming date. Think of it like a screener. It's short, under 75 minutes, usually at a coffee shop. The goal is just to charm her, gather some info, and leave her wanting more. Then you move on to the seduction date. This is the longer, more romantic, adventurous event that's actually designed to lead to intimacy. The whole point of splitting them up is efficiency. Why plan some huge, elaborate first date when you don't even know what she finds romantic?
Now that priming date is super strategic. It's packed with these specific tactics designed to shift the mood from friendly to romantic fast. For example, they tell you to ask romantic questions, not just small talk. And they're very specific. Touch her casually at least 5 times, wink at her once, and then you cut the date short. The whole point is to create a spark and then leave her wanting to see you again.
Okay, so you've done all this work, right? You've got the mindset, the new style, the whole dating strategy down. So what's the end goal? What does success actually look like in this system?
And this is where the book takes a really interesting, kind of surprising turn. They argue that the ultimate goal isn't just about mastering techniques to get women. It's something much bigger. The real endgame, they say, is a deep, fundamental change within the man himself.
And at the core of this change is this one big idea: generativity. It's a funny word, but what it means is your ability to be creative, to be inventive, to be results-producing and fun. It's about becoming a man who creates an exciting life for himself.
So in the end, that's the book's final thesis. It's that your ability to create a life that turns you on, that is what will ultimately make you attractive to women. All the other stuff, the clothes, the dating strategy, all of it, is just a vehicle to get you there, to build a life that is so fulfilling and so exciting that it naturally draws other people in. And that leaves us with this really provocative question at the heart of the whole system, doesn't it? Is real, lasting confidence a product of inner work and philosophy? Or is it something that can actually be built by following a repeatable external system? The book presents this incredibly detailed, almost scientific set of actions, all designed to create an internal feeling. It's a classic chicken and egg problem. Does the system build the man, or does the man have to build himself before the system can even work?
Thank you for joining us on The Explainer.